Welcome back, dear listeners, to another episode of our enlightening series. I'm your host, Susan, and today we're venturing into the intriguing world of visualization techniques. Now, some of you might be wondering, what exactly is visualization? And how can it possibly pave the way for success? Well, fret not, because with us today is the brilliant motivational coach, Larry Donowan, who's here to shed light on this very subject. Welcome, Larry.
Thank you, Susan. It's always a pleasure to join you and discuss such impactful topics. Visualization, as many might be aware, is more than just daydreaming or wishful thinking. It's an intentional, purposeful process where we construct and reinforce a desired outcome in our minds. In simple terms, it's seeing our goals come to life inside our head before they manifest in reality.
That's a compelling introduction to the concept. But Larry, how did you come across this technique? I mean, is it something that has been around for a long time, or is it a relatively new concept in the realm of motivational techniques?
Great question, Susan. Visualization, in essence, has been with humanity since ancient times. Think of the great inventors, the architects, the warriors. They all had a vision, an image in their minds of what they wanted to achieve or create. What's relatively newer is our scientific understanding of how visualization affects our brain and subsequently, our actions. The wonders of neuroscience have shown us that our brains don't particularly differentiate between real experiences and those we vividly imagine.
That's fascinating. So, in essence, what you're saying is, by practicing visualization, we're actually training our brain to achieve our desired outcomes.
Precisely, Susan. Think of it as mental rehearsal. Athletes, for example, often visualize their performance. They see themselves winning, feeling every emotion, every cheer from the crowd, every bead of sweat. This doesn't just serve to boost their confidence, but also preps their body and mind for the real thing.
That's truly enlightening. And I think it's important to stress here that visualization isn't just for athletes or high performers. It's a tool that can benefit everyone, right?
Absolutely, Susan. Whether you're aiming for a promotion, preparing for an exam, trying to overcome a personal challenge, or simply looking to improve an aspect of your life, visualization can be your ally. The beauty of it lies in its simplicity and adaptability. But it's essential to understand its nuances, to practice it effectively.
And I'm sure our listeners are eager to delve into those nuances. So, dear listeners, stay with us as Larry will unpack the ins and outs of visualization techniques, giving us actionable steps to harness its full potential. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks. Now, Larry, before the break, you touched upon the historical significance of visualization and its application in our modern world. I'm keen to understand how one can effectively practice visualization. Is there a step-by-step guide or method that our listeners can adopt?
That's a fantastic point to start with, Susan. Absolutely, there are systematic ways to tap into the power of visualization. Let's break it down. 1. Clarity of goal. Before you can visualize, it's essential to have a clear, well-defined goal. What is it that you want to achieve? Instead of having vague goals like, I want to be successful, try to be more specific, like, I want to finish writing my book by December.
Clarity is power, as they say.
Exactly. Once your goal is clear, you can paint a more vivid picture of it in your mind. Immersive environment. Find a quiet spot, free from distractions. This could be a peaceful room in your house, a park, or even a secluded part of your office. The idea is to be in an environment where you can focus solely on your inner thoughts.
Almost meditative, isn't it?
Precisely. Meditation and visualization often overlap, and that brings me to the next point. Deep breathing and relaxation. Just like meditation, start your visualization process by taking deep breaths. It helps in calming your mind and prepares it for the imagery.
Right. So once we're relaxed and focused, what's the next step?
That's when the actual visualization starts. Vivid imagery. Envision your goal as already achieved. Feel the emotions, see the colors, hear the sounds. For instance, if your goal is to give a successful presentation, visualize yourself standing confidently, the audience engaged, nodding, smiling, clapping at the end. Feel the elation, the pride.
I can imagine the power of such vivid imagery. It's not just about seeing it, it's about feeling it.
Absolutely, Susan. And that feeling is what propels us forward. Engage all senses. A common misconception is that visualization is just seeing. However, effective visualization engages all senses. What can you hear? Maybe it's the applause or words of appreciation. What can you touch? Perhaps it's the texture of the certificate of achievement or the handshake of a colleague.
And I assume repetition plays a key role here, right?
Spot on, Susan. Just like any other skill or habit, the more you practice visualization, the more proficient you become at it. Daily practice, even if it's for a few minutes, can make a significant difference.
These steps sound profoundly impactful, Larry. But for our skeptics out there, are there any scientific studies that back the effectiveness of visualization?
That's an important aspect to touch upon. And yes, there's a wealth of research out there. Let me share a bit about how our brain reacts to visualization when we return from this short break. Stay with us, listeners, as we delve deeper into the science behind the magic of visualization.
Welcome back, listeners. As promised, we're diving deep into the science behind visualization. Larry, you mentioned earlier about research that supports the practice. Can you enlighten us more about that?
Absolutely, Susan. So, visualization works because of a particular quirk in our brain's wiring. The brain, astonishingly, often doesn't make a distinction between imagining an action and performing it in real life. This is where neuroscience steps in with the concept of neuroplasticity, which basically refers to our brain's ability to change and adapt.
I've heard of this. It's about our brain forming new connections throughout life, right?
Exactly. When we visualize, our brain sends signals to our neurons, telling them to perform the action, which leads these neurons to fire up. This firing, even if it's just imagined, strengthens the neural pathways. It's like rehearsing a performance in your mind. For instance, many athletes use this technique to improve their skills without even physically practicing them. They mentally rehearse their moves, and it translates into improved physical performance.
That's truly fascinating. So, in essence, our brain is training itself through these visualizations.
Precisely. Take the famous experiment with pianists, for instance. When researchers asked one group to physically practice a piece and another group to just visualize practicing, they found the brain patterns in both groups to be almost identical. This implies that the mere act of visualization can build and strengthen the neural pathways needed for the physical performance.
Wow, that's powerful stuff. And it doesn't just stop with skill improvement, does it?
Not at all. Visualization has a profound effect on our emotional state and self-belief too. When you visualize achieving a goal, it boosts your confidence and morale. You begin to believe in its possibility. And this belief is a potent motivator, pushing us to take the necessary steps to turn that vision into reality.
And I think it's safe to assume that this doesn't just apply to big, life-changing goals. Even daily tasks and challenges can benefit from this technique.
Absolutely. Whether you're preparing for a meeting, aiming for a promotion, or just trying to navigate daily challenges, visualization can be your secret weapon. By mentally rehearsing the situation and the desired outcome, you're better equipped to handle it in real life.
So, for our listeners out there who've never tried visualization before, what would you recommend as a starting point, Larry?
Great question, Susan. Start small. Pick a goal or a task for the day. Dedicate a few quiet minutes in the morning to visualize the successful completion of that task. Feel the emotions, engage all your senses, and immerse yourself in that success. And then watch how it changes the way you approach the day.
That sounds like a fantastic first step. All right, listeners, we'll delve into some more actionable tips and tricks in the next segment. Stay with us as we continue to unravel the magic and science of visualization techniques. We're nearing the end of our enlightening journey through visualization techniques, and what a ride it's been. Before we wrap things up, Larry, could you share a personal experience where visualization played a pivotal role in your achievements?
Of course, Susan. Early in my career, I was eyeing significant promotion. The competition was fierce, and I knew I had to stand out. Every day, I spent around 15 minutes visualizing the interview, the questions, my responses, and ultimately, the moment they tell me I got the job. I even imagined the feelings of joy and the handshake with my future boss. The day of the interview, I felt an uncanny sense of familiarity. It was like I'd already lived through it. Not only did it calm my nerves, but it also allowed me to answer with confidence and precision. And guess what? I got the promotion.
That's an incredible testament to the power of visualization. And a personal story always resonates. Larry, any closing thoughts or advice for our listeners on how to make the best of this technique?
Absolutely. The key is consistency. Visualization is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And remember, it's not just about seeing the end goal. It's about feeling it, immersing yourself in the experience, and truly believing in the possibility. This combination of emotion and imagery is what fuels the magic of visualization.
Beautifully said, Larry. To all our listeners, we hope this episode inspires you to harness the transformative power of visualization. Whether you're chasing a dream, facing a challenge, or simply wanting to enhance daily life, visualization can be a game. So dream it, see it, and believe in it.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Susan. Thank you for having me, and I hope everyone finds their success through visualization.
Thank you, Larry, for sharing your wisdom. And to our listeners, keep envisioning your future, and may all your dreams come to life. Until next time,